What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. We have a 3-game slate to dive into for Tuesday, July 29th. So I'm going to break down and analyze each of those games. We're going to talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points and the spread. And then when it's all said and done, make sure you check down there into the pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that's going to send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. That's where you're going to find all of my final plays for these games listed for free. Typically right here, we'd jump right over there to the website. We'd recap our plays from the night before, but I am recording this video right before those Monday games tip off. So we will recap those plays and whatever we end up going with in this video here on our next video. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into the action, guys. Smash the like button down there for me if you can and hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's get into the mix, man. 7:30 p.m. tip-off time for our first game. Going to be the Golden State Valkyries taking on the Atlanta Dream. Dream laying 8.5 in this one. That total, it opened up 161.5. It is now down to 157.5. The Valkyries are going to be on the second game of a 5-game road trip, and that started off with them getting annihilated in Connecticut by the worst team in the W, 95-64. The Valkyries, they lost Kayla Thornton for the year, and they have been down Monique Billins recently as well. And those were the Valkyries' 2 leading scorers and rebounders when these two teams met up in early June, and that resulted in a 9-point win for the Dream that was also in Atlanta. Now, Billings is a game-time decision here. In Atlanta, they're also going to be down all-star two-way guard Ryan Howard. The Dream, though, they come in off not one, but 2 straight impressive wins, both without Ryan, beating the Mercury in Phoenix by 11. And then in what would you would figure to be a letdown spot after a big win, what would be their 6th straight game on the road. No, man, not at all. They go into Minnesota, they take down the best team in the W, and they deliver them their first loss at home in the process. The Dream shot 52% from the field, 44% from deep in that one. They also got a huge game from BG, who dropped a season-high 22. And that's the thing, man. With Atlanta, they shoot a ton from deep. And when that shot is falling, they are tough to keep up with. And when the inside game is working too, man, they can put up some points on you with a quickness. And I've been saying that, man, this Golden State defense, it really takes a hit on the road. 5th overall for defensive rating this year, but on the road, they dropped to 9th, and they're also 2nd from last for offensive rating. The Valkyries, they're 11-13 on the year. They've gone 8-4 at home, but they're just 3-9 on the road so far this season, 5-7 to the number, while the Dream sit at 15-10 overall, 8-3 at home, 6-5 to the number when playing in Atlanta. Both these teams, they rely heavily on that 3-ball, though, man, not just Atlanta. The Valkyries are putting up the 2nd most 3-point attempts in their last 5 road games, but they're hitting at just 29%, 3rd from last across the W. But we see a difference defensively here as the Valkyries are giving up the 2nd most 3-point makes per game this year, but the Dream are allowing the fewest. It's more points than I really would like to lay with the Dream, man, but I'd look that way before I could get there with Golden State in this spot. Atlanta's a tough matchup defensively for the shorthanded Valkyries. They struggle on the road as it is, so give me the Dream here on the side. For the total, these two, they crush an over the first time that they met. The Dream have been an over team on the year, and they have hit to the over in 2 straight, but Golden State has been the slowest team in the league this year, dead last for pace, and have hit to the under in 4 of their last 6, 15 of the 24 games that they played this season. That Atlanta offense has been humming over their last 4, though, so looking at an under, it feels scary here, man. The Dream have put up 86, 87, and then 90 twice in back-to-back games now in those last 4. The Valks, they sit just middle of the pack at 7th in their last 5 for points given up per game at 84 points per. So, yeah, man, an under looks a little risky, but then an over feels risky as well, considering the Dream, they haven't given up, they've given up just 76 points per game in their last 5. That's 2nd best in the W. I think I'd lean under here, man. If we're looking at the Dream, we're looking at the Dream on the side, then I guess I'll look at an under here for the total. Um, but that same Dream team would probably be the reason why I would say off a full game total. Like I said, that offense is rolling. Maybe it would just be a look at the Valkyries and the team total under instead. The next up, going to be looking at the Chicago Sky taking on the Washington Mystics. Mystics were laying 5.5 at open. That's up to 7.5. Total is 157.5. It's going to be a 7:30 p.m. tip-off time for this one as well. Man, the Sky, they're coming in just reeling, man. Losers of 5 straight. They have been smacked with the injury bug. We got to keep that in mind. They're down Angel Reese, or they've been down Angel Reese and Ariel Atkins for multiple games. They only had 8 players available their last time out, just a handful of players on the injury report. We have Atkins, Reese, Jefferson, Van Lift. They're all listed as game time decisions here. And then we have Aaliyah Edwards listed as a game time decision for Washington as well. Makes it hard to call, man. You know what I mean? Without knowing who will be in for Chicago, who's going to be out. It makes it tough. But If one of either Reese or Atkins can go here, that's a lot of points to lay with this young Mystics team, and I'm sure as soon as one of them gets ruled in, if they do, that line's gonna shift immediately, right? So it might be one of those spots where if you wanna take that risk, man, go ahead and lay some or catch let's catch those points with Chicago right now while they're available. Because if one of them players can go, man, I can't see the Mystics, covering the spread and winning by 8 points. Chicago, it just, you don't want to bet because a team is due for a win or due to even cover. You know what I mean? But they are 5 straight losses and 5 straight times that they failed to cover as well. They're definitely due. Washington, they come into this one at 12 and 13 on the year, both straight up and against the spread. 8 and 5 at home, 6 and 7 to the number at home. The Sky, they sit at 7 and 18 straight up, 12 and 13 against the spread, 3 and 10 on the road outright, but they have gone 8 and 5 against the spread on the road. The Mystics have also only covered in 3 out of the 9 games that they've been made favorites so far on the year. These two, they have met twice so far this season, both Washington wins. First in Chicago by 7, but the second meeting in Washington was a closer 2-point game. But Angel was key in that one for Chicago, keeping things tight, man. She finished with 22 points and 15 boards. Look, man, like I said, if she's in, it's a play on the Sky for me. If Atkins is in, I'd consider it. If neither's playing, I'm staying away. That's just how I would look at this game here as far as the side is concerned. And then for the total, it's not, it's the same scenario of like we need to wait to see who's in and who's out. But so far, we've seen an under and a push between these two head to head on the year. Chicago has gone over in 2 of their last 3, but that's had more to do with their lack of defense. In Washington, they're not going to come in putting up a ton of points or anything. They actually fare better on the defensive end themselves, and they've hit to the under in 2 straight and 14 of the 25 that they played in this year. So I'd look at an under in this one. Then our late game, 10 p.m. tip-off time, Las Vegas Aces taking on the Los Angeles Sparks. Aces opened up a 1-point favorite that is now up to 2.5. Total opened up 169.5. It's up to 172.5. The Sparks, they're going to be back home for this one after a 3-game road trip, and they're going to have 2 days off after this one. And they've won 5 straight now, 6 of their last 7. They've covered in 4 in a row. This LA team, man, they're cooking, right? No doubt about it. And they've improved to 11 and 14 on the year, and that's after a 4 and 11 start. They find themselves right back into playoff contention. This offense, they've been rolling over these last 5, man. The Sparks are first in the W for offensive rating in that time, scoring the most points per game, an average of 97 points per outing. They're doing so on 42% shooting from deep, 51% shooting from the field. That's over 5 games, right? So just shooting the lights out. Like I said, that offense is rolling, man. It's one thing to have a couple good games like this, right? But to string together 5 in a row, that's pretty impressive. And at first, you could kind of attribute it to the opponents, right? 2 games with the Sun, 2 games with the Mystics. But then they go out and upset the defending champs in New York. And yeah, that game was close at the end, but the Sparks dominated the first half of play. And then they did what a good team needs to do, right? They hung on, they dug deep, and they found a way to win in the clutch. So an impressive win from the Sparks, man, an impressive stretch from the Sparks as well. The Aces, they come in off of a blowout win on the road in Dallas, and this will be their 4th and final game of this current road trip that they're on. Now, Vegas, they've won 4 of their last 6, but the inconsistencies and hard to read nature of this team are still very alive and well, man. Just in their last 5 games, we have wins over the Wings twice and an impressive 15-point win over the Dream, but then they also dropped one to the Fever, who are still without Caitlin Clark, and then they lost by 31 to the Lynx. Obviously the best team in the league, but they gave up 109 points in the process as well, man. Yeah, just it's hard to call this team, hard to read this team, man. These two, they've met twice on the year so far, both those times in Vegas. The the Aces won the first match by 15, while the Sparks got revenge the second time around, winning by 8. LA shot the ball well in that one also, 57% from the field, 45% from 3, and they held Vegas to just 38% and 26% shooting in each of those respective categories. They also won the battle on the glass and scored more from inside the paint. Both of these teams have fared well on the offensive glass in their last 5. LA sits at 3rd for offensive rebounds per game, while the Aces come in at 2nd. But the Sparks are giving up the 4th fewest boards off the offensive glass and the 2nd fewest overall, while the Aces are allowing the 2nd most total rebounds per contest and the most offensive rebounds and second chance points to the opposition. I get expecting a letdown from the Sparks at some point, man, and what better time than after a big road win over the Liberty? I get that for sure. But man, I'm not laying points right now against them, and I'm sure I'm definitely not about to do that with the Aces on the roads. And no thanks, man, no thanks. I'll lean LA as a home dog here with the points. For the total, this one keeps going up, and it's another one that I get that on paper. That would make sense looking at each team coming into this one, but I don't know, man. I just get this feeling that this is yet another game. If the Aces don't bring the energy, they struggle to get some points up on the board to get us there. With this line steady increasing the way it is, I'd be inclined to just look towards an under. I get this feeling that it's a Vegas flat spot, but hey, I can't ever seem to get a good feel for this Vegas team. Like I said, so maybe they come out and drop 100 tonight. It's possible. I'm just not seeing it personally. And that is going to wrap us up, guys. 3 games on the slate. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video today. Hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you have not already. That's going to do it, man. Hope you guys all cash out and have a great night. And I'm going to see you back tomorrow for the next one.